She clutched her Minnie Mouse backpack, still believing she'd get to go. But when the photos dropped online, there was no mistaking it. My mom had taken my brother's kids to Disneyland with the money I gave her. And my daughter? She wasn't even in a single photo. The soft sound of tiny footsteps echoes down the hallway. Brianna glances up just as her daughter, Lila, bounds into the room, her sparkly Minnie Mouse backpack bouncing with each skip. It's the one she picked out months ago, with glittery pink zippers and tiny mouse ears. She'd worn it every day since, always asking, "Is it time yet?" Brianna forces a smile. Lila twirls, eyes bright. "I packed my swimsuit and my princess dress. When do we leave for Disneyland?" The words catch Brianna off guard. For a second, she's frozen. Then, almost on instinct, her thumb scrolls through her phone. And there it is. A photo posted just 5 minutes ago, her brother's kids, standing in front of Sleeping Beauty's castle, grinning wide with mouse ears. Her mom, right beside them, arms draped around their little shoulders. Brianna's breath hitches. The screen shakes in her hands. Lila, still twirling, giggles. She doesn't see the shift in her mother's face, the way the light in her eyes dims, how her smile crumbles like dry paper. They had promised. Her mother promised. The betrayal burns slow, hot, like a secret whispered too loud. And then Lila looks up again, hopeful. "Mommy, when do we go?" Brianna opens her mouth, but no sound comes out. 3 months earlier, Brianna sat at her kitchen table, still in scrubs after her long shift. The house was quiet, Lila already asleep, clutching a stuffed Tigger in bed. The phone rang. "Mom," the name lit up. Brianna smiled, answering. Her mother's voice was unusually sweet. "I've been thinking. I want to do something special for the grandkids. Disneyland. A surprise trip, all of them together." Brianna's tired eyes lit up. "Really?" Her mom laughed. "Yes. I know how much Lila loves Minnie Mouse." Brianna's chest warmed. She had just gotten her quarterly bonus. Money was tight lately, but she wanted this for Lila. "Let me help," she said. "Use this for the hotel or whatever you need." That night, she transferred nearly $3,000. It wasn't easy, but she imagined the look on Lila's face when they walked through those magical gates. A dream worth any sacrifice. Her mom's voice echoed later in her mind, "It'll be a surprise for all the kids." But 2 weeks passed. Then came the call. Brianna could tell something was off in her mom's tone. "There weren't enough rooms," her mother said. "I'm so sorry. But next time, okay?" Brianna paused. The silence between them felt heavy. "Next time," she repeated, slowly. She wanted to believe her. She did believe her. Because this was her mom. And moms don't break promises, especially not to their grandchildren. Right? It was just another sluggish afternoon. Brianna sat alone in the break room, sipping lukewarm coffee, her thumb absent-mindedly scrolling through her phone. And then, her breath caught. A photo. There they were, her brother's kids. Her mom and dad. Everyone smiling wide in front of Sleeping Beauty's castle. Disneyland. Her heart pounded. She zoomed in, scanning every inch of the image, willing it to be wrong. But Lila wasn't there. She wasn't anywhere. Brianna kept scrolling, each swipe cutting deeper. Another photo. And another. Spinning teacups. Fireworks painting the sky. Mickey-shaped waffles on bright plastic plates. All of them were there. Laughing. Together. Except her daughter. Her fingers shook as she typed. "You went." The reply came instantly. "It just worked out better this way. The other kids behave better in crowds." She stared at the screen. The words didn't blur, they burned. Behave better? Is that all it took to be left behind? Something inside Brianna cracked. Not just a disappointment, but a fracture in everything she believed about family. She'd always thought love meant inclusion. That family never forgot its own. Later that evening, Brianna stood at the doorway of Lila's room. The same drawing still hung above her bed, Lila and her cousins, arms around each other, waving at Minnie Mouse. She had believed. She still believed. Because no one had told her otherwise. And Brianna, she didn't know how to say it. Didn't know how to tell her daughter that sometimes The people you love the most. Break the promises they never meant to keep. Sunday dinner. Brianna brought Lila, heart quietly pounding with hope. Maybe tonight, maybe there would be a conversation. An apology. Something real. Instead, a performance. As the gravy passed around, her mother beamed. Oh, Mia looked so radiant in those Disneyland pictures. Did you see her eyes? They just sparkled. Brianna froze. Her fork paused midair. She looked over at Lila, small, quiet, barely touching her plate. Then her brother chuckled and added with a smirk, "Well, I mean, she doesn't melt down in crowds." The word struck like glass breaking. Lila flinched, ever so slightly, then went back to nudging green beans in slow, distracted circles. No one noticed. No one asked how Lila felt. No one said, "We missed you." No one said, "We're sorry." They talked around it, over it, as if rewriting the story in real time. As if the missing piece, Lila, had never mattered to begin with. And that was what broke Brianna. Not just the betrayal, but the erasure. They were gaslighting her. Gaslighting them both. Making it seem like it was reasonable. Like it was her fault for being upset. Like Lila hadn't been good enough. Under the table, Brianna reached for her daughter's hand, small, warm, and still. Lila looked up, lip trembling but eyes clear. She understood. Even though no one said the words aloud. She knew. She wasn't welcome. And worse, no one here was sorry. One more comment, just one more, and it all cracks open. "She's just sensitive," her mother murmurs casually, sipping tea as if nothing was wrong. The laughter carries on, shallow and effortless. That's when Brianna breaks. She puts her utensils down. Not softly. Intentionally. Her voice slices the air. "You left my daughter out. And you used my money to do it." Silence hits the table like a thunderclap. Eyes turn. Her mother sets her cup down, slowly. A sigh escapes her lips. "Well, you're doing better, Brianna. You can afford it. And the other kids, they're just easier to manage." The words sting more than intended. Or maybe they were meant to hurt. Brianna stands. Her chair scrapes back, sharp and final. Her voice trembles, but it's not weakness. It's fury contained for too long. "No. You mean, they're easier to love." No one responds. No defense. No denial. Just a heavy silence. Lila looks up at her mother, then around the table. Her small shoulders stiffen. Something inside her shifts. Not for the first time, she feels sadness. But maybe, for the first time, she understands. Some people you love won't love you back the way you deserve. Brianna leans down, touches her daughter's shoulder, voice soft but steady. "Let's go, baby." And just like that, they leave. Not just the dinner, but the illusion. Brianna doesn't scream. She doesn't cry. She simply reaches into her bag with a quiet certainty, pulling out a worn folder, its corners frayed from being carried too many times, waiting for a moment like this. She places it gently on the table, right in the middle of the half-eaten dinner, like dropping a truth that can't be ignored anymore. No one moves. No one breathes. Her mother squints at it, confused. And then Brianna speaks. Calm, steady, heartbreakingly soft. "In here," she says, "is every time I said yes. Mortgage payments. Doctor visits. Christmas gifts when you said you couldn't afford them. Summer camps. School supplies. Braces for Mia. Groceries. Plane tickets. All those times you needed help and I gave it, because I thought that's what families do. Because I believed we were in this together." She pauses, letting the weight of her words settle into the silence. No one dares to interrupt. Her voice isn't raised, but it cuts through everything. "I didn't keep track to throw it in your face. I kept it because I needed to remind myself that I mattered too. That I was part of this family. That one day, you'd show up for me, for Lila." Her mother still says nothing. Her brother avoids her eyes. Brianna's voice drops to almost a whisper. "But I get it now. Love here comes with conditions. And Lila didn't meet them." She straightens, slowly. "So consider this," she gestures toward the folder, "the last time I say yes. And then, without drama, without theatrics, she stands. Lila rises with her, instinctively, like she's known her whole life this moment would come. No tears. No questions. Just her small hand reaching for her mother's. Together they walk out. Past the dinner table. Past the people who chose silence over truth. Past the place that never quite felt safe. The door closes behind them with a quiet finality. Inside, the house doesn't move. No footsteps. No apology. Only the deafening sound of a truth finally spoken, and the silence it leaves behind. Days pass. Not a single text. Not one call. The silence stretches long and wide, and strangely, Brianna finds herself breathing easier. There's no more walking on eggshells, no more bracing for guilt-laced messages or backhanded check-ins. The phone is still. The house is quiet, but not empty. No, this quiet feels different. It feels like air. Finally breathable. Finally hers. One afternoon, she takes Lila out for ice cream. No special occasion. Just because it's sunny and they're free. They sit outside the little corner shop, warm breeze rustling through the trees. Lila chooses strawberry as always. No one comments that it's too childish. No one rushes them. No one corrects her posture or makes her feel small. She giggles as a pink smear lands on her nose. Brianna leans in to wipe it away, but ends up laughing too. A real laugh. One she hasn't felt in years. Unburdened. But for a moment, everything is simple. Just them. Just now. Then, in the middle of licking her cone, Lila looks up with wide, curious eyes. "Mom, are we going back?" The question lands softly, but its weight is undeniable. It isn't just about dinner. Or Disneyland. Or the folder full of receipts. It's about all the times they were made to feel like guests in their own family. Brianna looks at her daughter, really looks at her. This small, strong soul who never deserved the silence, the exclusions, the backhanded comparisons. She reaches out, takes Lila's hand gently. "No, sweetheart," she says, steady and warm. "We're not going back." Not because they're angry, but because they've finally moved on. Lila nods. There are no tears. No need for them. Only ice cream, sunlight, and a mother's promise that this time, they choose each other first. The phone buzzes just as Brianna is flipping toast on the skillet. She glances at the screen. One missed call. One voicemail. She hesitates, then presses play. Her mother's voice filters through, honeyed and gentle, too gentle. "You overreacted. That dinner was meant to bring us together. Why do you always assume the worst?" The words aren't new. They're wrapped in faux concern, dressed in emotional guilt. It's the same dance. The same subtle art of making her pain feel like a problem of her own making. A few seconds later, her phone vibrates again. A text. "Brother, so you're ghosting us? Grow up." That's it. No mention of Lila. No apology. Just accusations. Just ego. Just exactly what she expected. Brianna stares at the screen, letting the silence speak for itself. Then she looks across the kitchen. Lila is sitting at the table, coloring in a unicorn with quiet concentration. Her tiny tongue peeks out between her lips, just like it did when she was learning to write her name. And Brianna knows, this moment, this breath, this peace, is what she's protecting. She picks up the phone. No fury. No second thoughts. Fuck. Not to punish. Not to prove a point. But to reclaim her own peace. No more explanations. No more trying to make them see what they refuse to. Her worth is no longer up for debate. She sets the phone down on the counter. The sizzle of toast continues. Lila hums softly to herself. And just like that, the cycle ends, not with a bang, not with drama, but with a quiet decision to stop letting their chaos define her peace. This time, silence isn't something she fears. It's something she chose. A full week passes. Still no calls. No apologies. And in the quiet, Brianna begins to believe maybe, just maybe, the silence is the end. Then it comes. An email from a familiar address. The Johnson family, shared account. She almost deletes it. But curiosity, and a flicker of old hurt wins. She clicks. A single attachment. The PDF. Title, Joint Support Contributions. She opens it. For a moment, she forgets to breathe. The spreadsheet is meticulously organized. Column A, Items paid by Brianna. It lists rent from 2021, summer camp fees in 2022, the expensive birthday gift for their mother last year. Column B, Proposed monthly support structure. As if they were calculating how to standardize her generosity. As if she had not already carried more than her share, quietly, consistently, without complaint. It's insulting, ludicrous, and yet so perfectly them. She lets out a small, sharp laugh. Not from humor, but from the sheer absurdity of it all. There's no anger left. No sadness. Just clarity. This document wasn't a betrayal, it was a gift. Proof, in cold hard numbers, of the way they had taken and never once paused to see her. She opens her reply, typing slow but steady. My only contribution now is distance. Invoice that. She hit send. No shaking hands. No second-guessing. This time, Brianna isn't the glue trying to hold a broken structure together. She's the boundary. The line they can no longer cross. And behind that line, she stands taller than ever, unapologetically distant, fiercely whole. The next day, a thick envelope is gently placed on the table. Brianna stares at it, a weight settling in her chest she can't quite explain. She pulls out glossy prints from Disneyland, bright smiles of her mother, her brother, the kids, standing proud in front of the castle. But Lila is nowhere. On the back of each photo, in her mother's unmistakable handwriting, a cruel message. This could have been us. Brianna holds the photos like cold knives stabbing at her heart. For a long moment, she's still, then strikes a match. The tiny flame flickers to life and touches the edges of the pictures. The paper curls, blackens, and the sharp scent of burning fills the room. She watches without blinking as the images turn to ash, drifting away like shattered memories that will never be mended. Lila stands by the window, watching her mother. No anger, no tears, just a soft smile, as if she understands. They are stepping through something together, walking beyond pain to find truth and freedom. Brianna meets her daughter's eyes and feels a strange comfort. The fire has burned away the past that hurt them. And now they can begin again. A new chapter just for the two of them, built on love and real freedom. A quiet afternoon shatters as Brianna's office door swings open. Her mother stands there, face tight with frustration. "You're tearing this family apart over a theme park?" she asks, her voice thick with accusation. Brianna meets her mother's gaze, no longer the innocent girl she once was, but a strong mother ready to fight for her child. "No," she says, voice shaking but firm. "It's over a lifetime of being treated like a wallet. Over you making my daughter feel invisible in this family." Her mother narrows her eyes, trying to maintain composure. "I raised you better than that." Brianna's laugh is bitter, stronger than ever before. "No. You raised Aaron. I survived." The room falls silent, the weight of those words hanging heavy. Brianna turns away, leaving behind a mother losing control and a daughter who has changed, no longer a child in need of protection, but a woman who knows how to stand up for herself and her daughter. The soft afternoon light filters through the bookstore windows as Brianna and Lila walk in hand. The warm air, the scent of fresh pages, and the rich aroma of cocoa promise a new kind of comfort. Lila's eyes sparkle as she picks out books, while Brianna smiles, feeling a peace she hasn't known in years. They no longer talk about Disneyland, the park that once symbolized shattered dreams and broken promises. Instead, Lila asks, "Mom, can we write our own stories now?" Her innocent yet profound question catches Brianna's breath. She nods gently, her voice steady and strong. "Yes, sweetheart. We'll make them magical, our way." Brianna looks at her daughter, small, innocent, yet strong beside her, and knows this is what truly matters. Not extravagant trips or moments decided by others, but the freedom to shape their own future, to find peace and happiness on their own terms. Together they leave the bookstore, 5 books and a warm cocoa in hand, unhurried and unburdened. Inside Brianna's heart, a new door has opened, a door of letting go, of true love, of hope. Sometimes, you have to walk away, not to teach a lesson or to punish, but simply to give yourself a future. If this story touched you, don't hesitate to hit subscribe to follow more powerful and emotional narratives. Leave a comment to share your own story, because your voice might just be the strength someone else needs. And finally, don't forget to share this video with your friends and loved ones, because every story heard can change someone's life. Together, we build a strong community where choosing peace over chaos is possible for everyone.